everyone, I thought that I would show you these pens today. Now these are the Staedtler Metalic pens, and I was sent these as a gift. They come in this pack of 5. You can see you've got your red, gold, silver, blue and green. I thought I would show them to you. I have already unboxed them and used them, but we're going to start with some black paper because on the packaging it showed them being used on black, and then I'm going to colour something in with them. So I thought I'd start with the black. So this is the red. I'm just having a look. It's a 1.1. It says 1 to 2 mil on the, I don't know if you can see that, nib size. If you look at the nib. So I don't know if you press lightly. Yeah, see, if you press lightly you can get a thinner line. So that's the red. Let's come in a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Here is the gold. I'll do a sort of thin line and then a thick line. Now I think they are rather like felt tip pens. They say for opaque writing and decorating on light and dark paper as well as on card. The blue one shows up quite nicely. I didn't know if it would be a bit dark, but it does. Here's the silver. Now one thing I noticed, they're not quite as shiny, here's the green, as say a Secura pen. Now why I think this is, I'll sort of tip them to the light a bit. You can see they do shine. You can see the colour that way, and if I turn it you can see it does reflect the light, but they're not as shiny as like the Secura jelly rolls, for example, but they're not jelly gel. They are, what I think they are is just a normal like felt pen. They're not paint, so I think that means they're not quite, they don't have the ability to be quite so shiny, but it does mean they don't go through the page. Obviously gel pens don't always anyway, but it means you can use them. I think I use them here, look, on this page, and there's a little bit of ghosting, but there is I don't know if there is, I've done a page later in the book. There's that one's a bit of ghosting as well. That's a glitter pen. But let's have a little go. Here is a page I thought would be quite well suited. Now another thing that is great, I'm using my gold, is that they dry really quickly because they're like a felt pen. So they don't sit on the surface like an acrylic or a gel pen does and sort of sit there for ages. They sort of soak in. I really should have put some paper behind this page. I'm going to do that in a minute, even though I know they don't go through because I'm that paranoid person. There we go. So there is some flower centres. I need to weight this page now. Okay, it's just my remote control. Just grab some paper. This is huge paper for this little book, but it'll do the job. There we go. So let's do a red flower. So you can just see how it looks on. I'll do a whole one, and you'll see how it looks on white paper. Now we have got a black background here, so we're sort of cheating a little bit because it's. But you can see they're quite nice. They go down quite well. They are a little thick. As I showed you, you can do a thin line, but not as thin as a gel pen. So I wouldn't want to use this on a page where I had teeny tiny details. You'd want a gel pen for that really, or a fine liner, something like that. But I think these could be, if they're not quite your cup of tea for colouring, they could be good for general craft work. Things like, I always think they'd be good if you were doing like gift labels on black paper and you're going to write the names on or draw a little bit of holly. I don't know, I'm thinking Christmas. I tend to think Christmas with metallics. Something like that. It would be nice for even just writing a birthday card, that sort of thing, just for a bit of a different look. So I think they've got plenty of applications, and I know a lot of you are quite crafty generally, not just with your colouring books. Let's do a blue one. so I'm sure that you would have lots of ideas. I don't know what the price is. These were sent to me as a gift, so I'm not sure, and how long they'll last or anything like that, you know. But they're Staedtler, so I'm sure they're affordable, because Staedtlers are. Another idea for these is a background, you know, because they don't go through the page. I think, I don't know whether I would really use them for a background. I like a sort of soft pastel-y thing rather than a dark, but I have used metallics and glitter pens for backgrounds before, but it would depend on the picture. I also think, you know, if you had a moon or something in the background, doing one in silver would look quite nice. And if you want to perk it up, you could always use like a clear glitter pen on top. Give it some shine, something like that. So there are options there for you. I saw this very interesting post, I think it was on Reddit, someone saying, oh, I've been doing colouring a while and my grandkids told me to go and look at Tok, I think they meant TikTok, and I saw this person who did a picture and they coloured it in pens, then went over it in pencils, then used some gel pen highlights, then did some pastel background, and then did more, did some glitter pens and blah. And she said, I don't want to do that. You know, I just want to colour, and that's absolutely fine. You know, what I'm doing here is the simplest, I think, form of colouring, really. I'm just filling in a space with one colour, and it's very relaxing, therapeutic, fun, satisfying. Why do we have to worry that, you know, maybe after this I need to go over it with some pen and pencil and blah and blah? You have to do that. Just do what you want to do. Remember that for a lot of us, colouring is a relaxation. It's a hobby. It's fun. It should be about the process, not about the finished result. It's lovely if you have something at the end that you're really proud and pleased with, but that isn't going to happen every time. I sound a bit negative. I'm not being negative. What I mean is that don't have high expectations of yourself all the time, because it's a hobby. You know, let's do a green one. It should be about having fun, and also if you're beginning and learning, mistakes happen and we need to learn from those mistakes. You know, if you've picked a colour and it hasn't worked, or a medium that hasn't worked, or whatever, that's great. You'll know not to do that next time. You've learnt a lesson, you know, and see it as a positive. There we go. Now I do wonder whether we can put pencil on top of this, having said, oh, you don't have to, but I don't know whether, I mean, these are quite dark. The silver you might be able to, but I wonder. I'm gonna have a go. Have I got any in here? No, that is a weird thing. I don't have any pencils in this room. I do have a graphite one, but not coloured ones. I'm just going to scribble a large area on my pad, because I'm not going to experiment in my book. See, that's another thing. If you're a little bit unconfident, just experiment on a piece of scrap paper first. I'm actually going to do some on some white paper too. Just noticed the sun's coming round. Grrr, sun. It was raining when I got up. Really dark and raining and windy. There was a big crash in the night where someone's recycling bins fell over. Things like that. Right. I'm going to go. You can see how it looks on white paper. That was I will finish this, but not on video. I was just an experiment. I'm going to go and get some pencils and just show you how it looks. I don't even know myself if it's going to work. Right, I grabbed just a random set of pencils that I found hanging around. You know how you do. And let's just move that out of the way. Put this back into shot. There we go, the green. I've just got these. They're Artex pencils, so they're soft pencils. What should we do? Let's put a bit of green on top of the green. Let's see what happens. This is just the dark green. Well, it goes on top. It doesn't chip it off. like it would if it was a dark pen. Oh, hang on, I'm trying to show you. There we go. Oh, too close. So it leaves, it's not smooth. It's quite difficult to get a smooth finish, but then you probably want to see some of the pen through. You can still see a lot of shine. I don't know if this pen, maybe this pencil's shiny. Hang on. Is the pencil shiny? Yeah. Yeah. So that shine is the pencil, not the pen shining through. But you can put pencil on top of it. So that's worth knowing. I've also done some on my pad here. My white pad. I know it's got lines, but I just wanted to show you. Actually, that pencil goes down a bit better on there. So it must be that must be to do with the paper. Maybe this paper. Yeah, this paper's a bit more toothy, a bit rougher. So yes, you can put pencil on top, which is good to know, because if you go out the lines or you don't like what you've done, you can go over the top of it a bit, or you know, so that's good. So there we go. It is a quick little review. I just wanted to show you them because I had opened them and I mentioned it, and then someone said, oh, we want to learn more. I was like, oh, whoops, sorry, I have forgotten to show you them. So here they are. They come in like a blister pack. I don't know where you can get them from apart from Amazon. I know they're on Amazon. What isn't on Amazon? I don't know if you can get them in like supermarkets and stationery shops and things like that. In the UK, we often have Staedtler products in various shops. But I'll put some affiliate links to the Amazon in the description. But as I say, it's quite difficult to get a thin line. So if you like a really small thin pen, then you're going to be better off with a sort of jelly roll type, or you know, a metallic gel pen. If you like, see this is good for colouring over. It's quite thick, which might be appealing to, you know, it's quick. So that's quite nice. And if you just want to say, in my just do a border or something, then you've got a nice quick to do. So there's that. And they don't go through the page, or they haven't gone through my page, which is nice. So you can use them on double-sided books. I would always try it on the test page first, or at the back of the book before, just in case. But they don't seem to go through the page, which is nice. I'm sure they're water-based. It doesn't really say, but I think that they don't smell. I like that a lot. It's quite important. Then my son was whinging that my hair was stinking this morning. I used some sort of coconutty, castor oily type conditioning stuff on it. It does it good, but it does stink. Anyway, so there we go. There are the pens. You can see they do shine. You can see them, you know, they do catch the light and look shiny if you get them at the right angle. The silver is the shiniest. I've always found this to be the case. So if I turn it this way so you can see the colours rather than the shine, you can see the silver seems to be the brightest. It's quite hard to demonstrate that, but the silver, I don't think the camera's picking it up, is definitely really shiny compared to the other four. But I find that to be the case with metallic pencils as well. But we've got a nice range of colour. There we go. So that is a little bit of info for you on those. I hope that's useful. Thank you for watching. I've got to go off and make a phone call. But I hope, yes, you enjoyed that. I will complete the page. I will show you it in my completed pages when that happens. Oh, I'm not sure. Not sure. It might be today. Might be later today. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you have a super day and happy colouring.